The dark rituals of death. Death. It's the one thing we all share. And yet, how we've chosen to face it has changed in some truly unsettling ways. From mourning jewelry made from human hair to bodies turned into puppets for one last farewell. Let's take a dark walk through the twisted history of funerals and mourning rituals. For if these tales are true, one is a fabrication. Can you spot which one before the end? The widow's weeds, Queen Victoria's eternal mourning. After the death of Prince Albert in 1861, Queen Victoria plunged England into a shadow. She locked herself away for months. Every photograph from then on shows her in black, not just for a year, but for the rest of her life. She even ordered that Albert's clothes be laid out every morning, as if he'd just stepped out for a moment. Servants were instructed to bring hot water to his dressing room daily for 40 years. But Victoria's grief infected the nation. Mourning became fashion. Entire industries rose around the production of mourning veils, black gloves, and hair jewelry. Yes, hair jewelry. Victorian widows wove locks of their dead loved ones into brooches, rings, and even intricate wreaths. It was a way to keep a part of them, literally, close to the heart. Stores like London's Jay's Mourning Warehouse sold everything a bereaved soul could need, from black umbrellas to jet-trimmed bonnets. And if you stopped wearing mourning clothes too soon, you risked being seen as cold, unfeeling, even scandalous. Victoria turned grief into a lifelong performance, and the empire followed her lead. The Sin Eater's Supper. In the remote villages of Wales and the English borderlands, there once lived a strange and lonely breed, the Sin Eaters. When a person died, the family would place a piece of bread and a mug of ale on the corpse's chest. Then they'd call in the Sin Eater, who would consume the meal. The act symbolized the taking on of the dead person's sins, granting them peace in the afterlife. For a few coins, the Sin Eater doomed himself. It was believed that by eating the bread, he took into his own soul all the wrongs of the departed. He was seen as spiritually filthy, cursed, shunned, and forced to live on the outskirts of society. Yet the poor often had no choice. It was one of the only ways to earn a living. Eyewitnesses from the 18th century describe them standing at the head of the coffin, muttering strange prayers as they chewed. When they were done, the Sin Eater would bow low, whisper, "God deliver thee," and vanish into the night. In a way, they were human graveyards, swallowing the sins of the world, one funeral at a time. The photograph of the dead. In the 1800s, photography was still a luxury. Few people could afford to have their portrait taken while alive. So when a loved one died, many families turned to a new trend, post-mortem photography. They would dress the corpse in its finest clothes, prop it up with wires, and pose it as if still among the living. The results are both eerie and intimate. Children clutching toys. Wives seated beside their sleeping husbands. Entire families posing with one pale, motionless member, eyes painted open afterward by the photographer. One daguerreotype from 1850 shows a young woman sitting serenely with her hands folded, except her neck is rigid, her head supported by an iron stand hidden behind her dress. The photo was taken 3 days after her death. The purpose wasn't to frighten. It was to preserve, to capture the last physical memory of someone soon to be buried. But for us now, looking back, there's something deeply unsettling about these images. A frozen moment between life and death. A smile that will never move again. Dancing with the dead, the Indonesian mourning ritual. High in the mountains of Sulawesi, Indonesia, the Torajan people hold a festival unlike any other. It's called mourning, the ceremony of cleaning corpses. Every few years, families exhume the preserved bodies of their ancestors. They clean and groom them, redress them in new clothes, and even parade them through the village. The dead are treated not as gone, but as distant relatives who occasionally come to visit. Villagers talk to them, pose for family photos, and lovingly wipe the dust from their faces. Some corpses are so well preserved that their facial features remain recognizable decades after death. It's not a horror show, it's an act of devotion. In Torajan belief, death is a slow process. A person isn't truly dead until they've been properly honored and remembered. So they live alongside their ancestors, sometimes literally. For outsiders, it may seem grotesque. But for the Torajans, it's a celebration of connection that refuses to fade, even beyond the grave. The puppet funerals of Naples. In the 17th century, Naples faced repeated waves of plague and cholera. Traditional funerals were banned to prevent contagion, so grieving families found strange new ways to say goodbye. They created lifelike marionettes modeled after their lost loved ones, sculpted faces, dressed in the deceased's clothing, and buried with full ceremony. Some puppets were even displayed in homes for months, sitting in chairs, their heads nodding as if listening to the living. Priests at the time condemned the practice as heresy, calling it the theater of the dead. But for the desperate, it brought comfort, a way to pretend their loved one was still present. Eventually, puppet funerals spread through parts of southern Italy before the church outlawed them entirely. A few of these macabre figures survive in museums today, their painted faces cracked, their glass eyes staring blankly from the past. It was mourning as performance art. And perhaps a reminder that even in death, humans crave the illusion of life. Centuries of grief. 5 ways to face death, some with reverence, some with horror. From queens and sin-eaters to puppets and ancestors who still join the family feast, every ritual tells the same story. That we fear forgetting more than we fear dying. How do you deal with loss? Maybe you discovered a new haunting ritual or ceremony to try. So, which of these dark customs was pure invention? Leave your guess in the comments. And if you enjoy these walks through the shadows of history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for another tale from creepy history.